oftentimes people ask me about this Excelsior Henderson thing, and I tell them that it's kind of hard to understand until put yourself back in the mid to late 90s. And if you didn't live through that, it's hard for people to understand that you'd put down 500 or $1,000 on a Harley Davidson, and you would wait for 3 years to get your motorcycle. And then if you decided in the course of those 3 years that isn't the motorcycle you wanted, it didn't matter. You just had to go back to the end of the line. So I love the story. I love the idea of bringing back another storied name of an iconic American motorcycle brand. I really liked a lot of the marketing that they did. I was in Sturgis when they did the unveiling. Had kind of pushed my way to the front so I could see what we were looking at. And so, and the other part of it that I have to tell you that I heard about is I had a sales rep friend of mine. His name was Paul Barth, and he's childhood friends with Butch Donahue. And as you well know, Butch jumped on it very early on, and I got a chance to meet Butch, and so there was that other aspect of it as well. And frankly, I still think that of all the motorcycles that I own, it's one of the most beautiful pieces of equipment that I have that has two wheels. And I really felt that Excelsior Henderson at the time was a viable option. It was still domestically made, and I love the look of the bike. With my particular motorcycle, it's number 21, and I understand from guys, they tell me that doesn't necessarily mean that it was the 21st one off the line. I understand all of that, but the fact of the matter is we all know today, we're wiser today than we were 30 years ago, 20 years ago about these machines. And so yeah, I've had my share of struggles with it. I've run into some real challenges with it, but I have to tell you, I rode mine to Florida, down to Bike Week, Daytona Bike Week, and I've ridden it all over the upper Midwest, and so yeah, what drew me to it was I like to support underdog startup companies. Yeah, even though I'm learning as you do that, that costs you something, but I still think it's an awesome looking motorcycle, and frankly, that was part of what drew me to it. I think it's a unique community, and the fact that everybody's trying to help everybody out. I think that's funny not funny, but good on Facebook. And somebody buys a bike and they've got a problem, and man, there's 20, 30 people chime in, do this, do that, try this, try that. And so I think the community's done a really, really nice job of keeping these things alive. And but I'm also one of these guys that I know that one day, each day we all grow older, and one day it's gonna be harder and harder to keep these things alive. And so, I'm not telling you that I have the time or the energy to spend on it, but we've got to figure out some way to get this stuff all documented, because I've had lots of older friends, hot rod friends, that they're super wise, and they know all the tricks, and they can help you out and make your life easier. But when they pass away, that it's just like a vapor. I mean, all of that knowledge and it's just gone. And so I'm not saying that I'm worrying about it every day, but there's you take a guy like Jamie, all the motorcycles that he's torn apart and all of them that he's rebuilt, and man, they've done nothing but be so upfront with me and honest with me, but yeah, it's a great community. My wife would shake her head if she heard me say this, but I'd do it all over again. I would. I absolutely love the piece of equipment. I love riding it. Yeah, it's a great community. I feel there again, I'm a faith-based man. I don't believe that anything happens by accident. I think we can have lots of ideas. God gives us free will to do what we want to do, but I think He allowed this to happen for a purpose, and for me to meet great people, and for me to have lots of stories from this Excelsior Henderson experience, and there's probably lots to be written yet. So.